You open your eyes. It is still dark outside. You check the clock. 7:15 a.m. The sun will not rise for another 3 hours. You are in Oymyakon, Yakutia, the coldest permanently inhabited village on Earth. The thermometer on the wall reads -95 degrees Fahrenheit. You sit up and immediately feel the cold biting through 3 layers of blankets. The wood stove in the center of the room has been burning all night, fed every 2 hours by your father. If the fire dies while you sleep, the temperature inside your home drops below freezing in less than 40 minutes. You walk to the window. Your breath crystallizes instantly into tiny ice particles that hang suspended in the air before drifting slowly to the floor. Outside, a thick white fog blankets the village. But it is not fog. It is the collective breath and chimney smoke of every household, frozen solid in the -95 degree Fahrenheit air. You get dressed. This takes 15 minutes. First, a thermal base layer, then wool, then fur, then a reindeer skin coat called a shuba that weighs over 15 pounds. Your mother hands you a fur hat made from Arctic fox. Without it, your ears would develop frostbite in under 2 minutes. You step outside. The cold hits you like a wall. Your eyelashes freeze solid within 30 seconds. The moisture on the inside of your nostrils turns to ice. If you breathe through your mouth, the frigid air will burn your lungs. You learn to take shallow breaths through a thick wool scarf wrapped around your face. You notice something strange. There is no sound. At -95 degrees Fahrenheit, the cold is so intense that it absorbs sound waves. Conversations become whispers. Dogs stop barking. The only noise is the crunching of your boots on the diamond-hard snow beneath your feet. You walk toward the school. In Oymyakon, school is only canceled when the temperature drops below -62 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, at -58 degrees Fahrenheit, school is open. You are expected to attend. On the way, you pass a row of cars. Every single engine is running. They have been running since October. If a car engine is turned off in this cold, the oil turns to tar, the battery dies instantly, and the fuel lines freeze into solid tubes of ice. Restarting is impossible. Some families keep a bonfire burning under their car engine overnight just to keep the metal warm enough to function. You arrive at school. The building sits on concrete stilts 2 meters above the ground. This is not decoration. In Oymyakon, every building must be elevated because the permafrost, frozen ground that extends over 1,000 feet deep, will melt if a heated building sits directly on top of it. The ground becomes unstable. Buildings tilt, walls crack, foundations collapse. Inside the classroom, your teacher explains today's lesson, but you are distracted by a detail few outsiders ever learn. Your school's windows are not double-paned. They are quadruple-paned, 4 layers of glass with insulating gas between each layer. And still, on the coldest mornings, frost climbs the interior surface of the innermost pane. After school, you walk home past the village's only store. Inside, there is no fresh fruit, no vegetables, no dairy. The growing season in Oymyakon lasts barely 3 months, and the nearest city with a supermarket is a 2-day drive on the Road of Bones, a highway built by Gulag prisoners in the 1930s, where thousands of workers died, and their remains were literally mixed into the road foundation. Your family's diet is almost entirely meat and fish. Tonight, dinner is Stroganina, thinly sliced raw frozen fish, so cold it shatters like glass when your mother cuts it with a knife. Beside it sits raw frozen horse liver, sliced paper thin and served on a wooden board. The fat content in these foods is not a choice. It is a biological necessity. Your body burns over 5,000 calories a day just to maintain core temperature. Without animal fat, you would starve even with a full stomach. Here is something that will surprise you. When someone dies in Oymyakon, the burial takes 3 days. The permafrost is so hard that no shovel can penetrate it. Instead, the family builds a large bonfire on the gravesite and lets it burn for 10 hours. Then they scrape away the thawed mud, which is only a few inches deep. Then they build another fire, and another, and another, for 3 days, alternating between fire and digging until the grave is deep enough. You step outside again after dinner. The sky is now completely clear, and you see something that makes every freezing moment worth enduring. The northern lights, green, purple, and white curtains of light, ripple silently across the entire sky, horizon to horizon. In Oymyakon, with no light pollution and crystal clear frozen air, the aurora borealis is so vivid that it casts visible shadows on the snow. You walk to the village's thermal hot spring. This is the reason Oymyakon exists. The name itself means unfrozen water in the local Even language. In the middle of a landscape where everything is frozen solid, this natural spring stays liquid at around 68 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Steam rises from the surface into the -95-degree Fahrenheit air, creating a permanent cloud of mist. Reindeer herders discovered this spring centuries ago and settled here specifically because their animals could drink fresh water even in the deepest winter. Before bed, your father checks the wood stove one last time. He loads it with birch logs that will burn slowly through the night. He sets an alarm for every 2 hours to add more wood. Missing even one feeding could drop the indoor temperature below the survival threshold by morning. You climb back under 3 blankets and 2 reindeer skins. Outside, the temperature is still dropping. By 3 a.m., it will reach -98 degrees Fahrenheit. The walls of your home creak and groan as the wooden beams contract in the cold. And yet, as you drift off to sleep, you realize something extraordinary. The people of Oymyakon do not see themselves as survivors. They do not see this place as hostile. They call it home. They have lived here for over 300 years. They raise children here. They celebrate weddings and holidays here. They laugh here. The coldest place on earth is not empty. It is full of life, and the people who live here have learned something that the rest of the world has forgotten. That survival is not about escaping the cold. It is about learning to live with it. If you want to see more stories from the most extreme places on Earth, subscribe. Because the world is far stranger than you think,